Hi, Sean here from GPS Training. Welcome to the latest walk and talk. The walk today starts in the wonderful village of Alwinton up the Coquet Valley. And what GPS units or watch are we walking with today? It is the Coros Apex 2. So before we go for that walk, I'm going to quickly show you and plan on the Ordnance Survey map exactly where we're going to go today. So before we go for our walk, we're going to quickly just plan it on the free Ordnance Survey route planning software. So if you go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on OS Planner on the top menu bar, it takes you to the free Ordnance Survey route planning software. So we're starting from a place called Alwinton, so we're just going to type in Alwinton in the search box today. We just click on Alwinton and it will send to the map on the location where we're going to go. Now, before I start planning anything, it's best just to give you a quick overview of where you're going to go, understand where you're going to go before you start planning. So we're starting from Alwinton, we're going to go up the road here, up this past Peth, down to Shillmoor, then we're going to use our open access area to come down Shillmoor Law, and then come down this way to Barrowburn, up the road, and then we're going to follow this up here, what's called a street, all the way up to the Pennine Way. Join the Pennine Way, come along here into Scotland, Windy Gyle, follow the Pennine Way and back to Clennel Street, back down Clennel Street, and then back down Clennel Street this way via Nettlehope Hill, all the way back down Clennel Street, continuing. It's a long way back down to Alwinton. So I always have a quick overview, make sure you know where you're going, and then when you start clicking, it's just a case of clicking on the map every time there's a major corner of the path, and we start creating a route, but when we send it to our watch, it'll get converted to a course. And that's the route there planned. So it's 19.3 miles. We'll just take a quick look, have a look, and it's got 154 waypoints in there. So we'll just rename this at the top. So walk and talk Coros, and right down the bottom, we just download the GPX file there. And it just downloads it into the download section on my Mac in your case, or on your PC. Next thing we need to do is just get this to my mobile phone. So I'm going to quickly just email it to my mobile phone. So I'm going to open up my email client, and then I'm literally just going to send myself an email, simple as this, attach onto the file, so downloads, there's my walk and talk course, attach it onto the email and put GPX or something like that, walk and talk. Just going to email it to myself. I'm actually going to send it from I'll send it from the same email address, right? Just send it to myself, and then I should receive it onto my mobile phone. On your mobile phone, you just need to just download and save that GPX file. So again, I'm just going to open my email client, and there it is there, my GPX walk and talk. I just click on it, and there's a GPX file, which I sent from my Mac in your case, or it could be for a PC. I just need to save this onto my mobile phone. So I'm just going to save it to what's called the files section on my mobile phone. I say I'm an iPhone, it'd be very similar on an Android phone. I'll just save that into the file section. Now I just need to go to the file section on my mobile phone, and there it is, my walk and talk Coros. I just hold down on it, and it says share down the bottom, and I'm just going to look for Coros. Now it's not on the shortcuts down the bottom, so I need to open it within the Coros app. I'm just going to click on more and look down my suggested apps, and there's the Coros app there, and it literally just opens it up directly in the Coros app. And down at the bottom, you'll see it says save route. I save it within the Coros app. and you'll see it comes down the bottom, sync with the device. You'll also see the elevation down at the bottom, so 19.33 miles. We're going to go up 2,936 and down 2,940. And I literally just press the blue button, which is sync with your watch. And it's syncing that now with the Coros watch. Excellent, so we're all ready now to start that walk. So to load that course into the watch and also to start recording the track, just hold down the button on the right hand side for a couple of seconds to unlock it, and then we just find all the different activities. So we're going hiking today. Just press on hike, come down to settings, on settings, you have one says navigation. Okay, and there's a walk and talk that we're doing, which is the 19.33 mile walk. Press on that again and start course. Acquiring GPS signal, it's got a GPS signal already. Just press start now, and we're now recording our course or the track, and we're also navigating the course that we planned on the computer. This is one of my favourite viewpoints of the Coquet Valley. We've got the River Coquet behind. The source of the Coquet is a place called Chew Green. If anybody's walked the Pennine Way, more than likely will have walked past Chew Green. There's an old Roman camp up there, and it meanders this way down the valley, and it goes through Rothbury, which is where GPS training are based, then Warkworth, Felton, Warkworth, and it goes out to sea at Amble by the sea, and that's where the Coquet goes out into the North Sea. So we can actually see where we're going to go today. So we've just done our first climb. I'm going to drop down, and then we're going to, because the houses in the distance, and then you can see the fields that are being cut for hay or silage. We're going to climb up on the top of that big hill there, and then drop back down to Barrowburn. So not a lot of climbing today, down to the valley bottom, back up again, drop back down, and head our way up to the border ridge. So it's really quite nice navigation experience of this Coros. I'm going to discuss in a few minutes the different options with the Coros, but what the navigation experience we get with any GPS watches, it vibrates when we're going off course. So again, we get a very basic map. We can see where we are. We can get a directional arrow of where we should be walking in. If I go off course, it vibrates on my wrist. I can quickly look at it and see what I need to do to correct myself. So it's not quite as nice the weather as I thought it was going to be. The weather forecast was supposed to be superly hot, so I've got 4 litres of water with me and my water purifier, thinking that it's going to be a warm all day and I'm going to try and get a decent pace. But it's a nice cool breeze at this moment in time, so potentially I won't need any more water than I'm already carrying with me today. So I'm going to drop down and make my way along the valley floor, and then back up again we go. As you may or may not know, there's actually 2 models in this Apex 2 range, the Apex 2 Pro and then the basic Apex 2. What is the differences? The key difference is battery life. 75 hours of battery life on the Apex 2 Pro, 45 hours on the Apex 2. Apex 2 Pro is a slightly larger screen on it as well. The other thing is, and this is a strange one, you don't get the preloaded maps on the Apex 2, but you do on the Apex 2 Pro, but you actually can download them yourself onto the Apex 2, the more standard watch, which is always a very strange one. But the key thing is battery life, 75 hours compared to 45 hours. This is when we've got the GPS on and we're navigating with that. But again, other than that, there's not an awful lot between the 2 models. So I've just summited Shillmoor Law, which is behind me. I was going to do a piece to camera about how, because there's no footpaths to the summit and I'll be utilising open access areas, you never see anybody up there. But guess what? There's a group of walkers having the packed lunches up there, which is just typical, isn't it? But again, lovely summit. Again, you may have seen me summit it when I did a walk and talk on the GPS map 66i about a year and a half ago. But anyway, moving on from there, we're going to start dropping you down again, down to Barrowburn, which is down in the bottom here. Barrowburn used to be a lovely tea room down there, which is sadly closed. So we're going to drop down very steep. Actually, we're going to drop down, as you can see the path as it snakes its way down to Barrowburn, and along the road up, and then we climb steeply back up, and then up the street all the way up to Gyle. You can actually just see it on the summit. I don't know if we can see it. Right at the summit, you can see the rocky cairn, and then we follow the ridge around and back around that way. Still a long way to go, isn't it? So steeply dropped down. I had a lovely view of the valley. It's not a regular view because again, it's not an easy place to get to this because you've got to utilise open access, and the path gets really rough as we drop down here. But again, anyway, we'll soon drop down to the grassy path, and we'll follow it down to Barrowburn, then back along the road. I can just see some mountain bikers skirting along the road in the distance. So really nice, perfect conditions for it because again it's clouded over a little bit, nice breeze, but it's still warm, and the watch is performing very, very well. It's really it's a nice navigation experience. I say I'll talk a little bit more about the pros and cons of that watch as we continue on with the walk. Okay, just while we stop for a bit of lunch, I'll quickly show you through the main page that you see when you're navigating with a Coros GPS watch. So this is the main map page, and you can see the pink line is the course that we're following, and the blue line is the tracks. That's where we've been, and this is where we are pointing in that direction that the arrow is pointing. Again, it's got the electronic compassing, so we'll orientate the map accordingly when we rotate it. And to navigate, we just use this fantastic little scroll wheel here. So again, scroll wheel, you just move it and it goes through the pages. This shows you the elevation data. So it shows we're at 2,116 feet, and the elevation that we're at now, and the gain we've done so far is just under 3,000 feet, and we're just starting to start our climb up onto Windy Gyle, and we drop down and then a little bit of a climb. So most of the climb is out of the way. Again, it shows that we've been going for 3 hours 38 minutes 38 seconds. Again, just use a scroll wheel. Distance 9.57 miles, and this is the miles per hour. So when we walk, it shows the miles per hour, and this is the direction arrow. So you see on all these pages now, we've got the blue arrow pointing the direction that we need to go walking in, and you see it's got the electronic compass in it, which orientates and makes sure it's pointing the right direction even when we're stationary. Next page is a heart rate. Again, it's not on myself, so if I put my finger on it, might just pull my heart rate up. Time of day 1:20 and then we've always got this clock running at the bottom. Training load, so more the fitness side of it, and how long the last mile. So lap time is how long the last mile has been, 26 minutes and 33 seconds, and we're half a mile through there. And that's the grade there as well, elevation data. Then back to the map page. So I very much hope you agree. It's a nice, simple interface on the watch. Again, that scroll wheel on the side is really good. Now, with the scroll wheel, you can actually, I've never seen this before, you can turn the screen through 180 degrees. So I've got the scroll wheel at near my hand. If you feel you're accidentally touching it or it's moving it, you can actually do a setting which turns the watch through 180 degrees and then put the scroll wheel at the top side of your arm. The other thing as well is the scroll wheel you saw at the start, I had to press in to unlock it. So that enables me to stop recording my track in that case. So when I stop recording my track, you have to hold it in. So again, it's nice so you're not accidentally touching it and stopping recording the track when you're out walking or running or whatever activity you're using it for. So we just finished my lunch. To quickly show you turning around. This is where we're heading towards. So Windy Gyle in the distance, you can see the cairn. Up on the distance is where we're heading towards. So we're So fingers crossed you can hear me. It's quite windy, but it's a beautiful spot vantage point. So we're looking back on where we've been. That's where we've come from, and this is the Scottish border fence here. So this is England, and this is Scotland on the far side. If we look over, we can see the Cheviot, which is the highest point in Northumberland. Just to the left, the pointy summit, it's the Shill. So the Shill is, I did a walk and talk up there with a Garmin GPS map 65S. Again, that's in Scotland as Windy Gyle is. We do very good in Northumberland at pinching the Scottish hills or mountains and claiming as Northumbrian. So the Shills is in Scotland. Windy Gyle, which is where we're going to, is also in Scotland. But I say we do a very good job of pinching them. Cheviot, Hedgehog to the right, it's the second highest peak in Northumberland. And then this is the Pennine Way goes all the way along, just past the Shill, and then starts dropping down into Coquet, which is the finish of the Pennine Way. So the Cheviot is very well known for this lovely strawy grass, so it's quite fertile, the Cheviot. That's why if you look at our native breed of sheep, which is the Cheviot, is a big bodied sheep. It's because it's volcanic, the land, and therefore it's quite fertile. It's very different than what we find in the Highlands of Scotland, or even places like the Shillmoor Hills, which are very sandy and very poor nutrients, or poor holding nutrients rather, where it's quite fertile here, the Cheviot. So we're just going to carry on, climb up to the top of Windy Gyle, and I'll catch up with you there. So this is the stunning Windy Gyle, my all-time favourite summit in Northumberland. I often joke, I say to my wife, when I die I want my ashes spread at this point. I've said this before on previous walk and talks, it's quite a poignant place in my career really. As many of you may or may not know, I used to be a hill shepherd, and I started a business called Shepherd's Walks in the late, well, 1999 it was, and I started writing walking guides. And I often thought to myself, I wonder if I can make a living doing this, writing walking guides, taking people out walking. And quite a low point in my life when I was finding it hard to make that decision whether I should go full time and see if I can make a go of it, or stay in my secure full-time job. I actually came for a walk up here one Friday night, and yeah, didn't see a soul. I did a 10-mile walk from here after work on a Friday night, and I made my mind up. I kind of thought, I need to do this. I need to go full time and start the business, which is still our parent company of GPS training, which is called Shepherd's Walks, which is now of course Shepherd's Walks Limited. And yeah, so I came up here on a Friday night. I remember rushing back. I didn't live in Rothbury at the time. I lived on a farm, the far side of the Shillmoor Hills. I remember rushing back thinking, if I get back and get to the spa before it closed at 11 o'clock, I could maybe get a couple of cans of pop or something like that. That's how late it was when I got back down. But yeah, it's a poignant place. My all-time favourite summit in Northumberland. I do a lot of guided walks, things. I bring a lot of people up here, and yeah, all my family have been here. My wife's been here. I bring lots of friends and family here. Somebody said, take me for a walk in Northumberland. This is the walk I'm going to take you on. So yeah, the watch has been performing very, very good. We're actually going to just dart onto the English side of the border now and jump back onto, well, on the Pennine Way actually is on the English side from now on. Paved stones, so hopefully we get some good distance in, because again, looking at the watch, we're 11 miles in, so we've got what, another 8 miles to go, so still a fair distance to go. I think really it's quite a good poignant part. It's quite a poignant time also to discuss the price of this Coros Apex 2. It's actually a premium watch. What do I mean by premium watch? It's got a sapphire screen on it, it's got a titanium body on it, but it's half the price of the equivalent Phoenix, Garmin Phoenix watch. So Garmin Phoenix watch is now 990 odd pounds. This is less than half that price. The maps aren't quite as good as what we'll find on the Phoenix watch. It's not got turn-by-turn routing on it like we have on the Phoenix watch, but they're actually doing some beta testing at the moment. My colleague Andy's got exactly the same watch. He's on one of the beta trials where they're testing the turn-by-turn routing. It's not got, like, you can't pay with it, you know, like equivalent of Apple Pay, but with Garmin there's Garmin Pay where you can pay with your watch like you can with your smartphone and things. You've not got that on it. But other than that, they're very similar products. So it's a lot lighter weight. It's got a fabric strap compared to a heavier plastic strap, and it is lighter on the wrist as well, which for someone like myself who's not got big wrists, it's quite it looks quite good in those features. So it's certainly worth a consideration. I've been wearing it on my wrist for 7-8 months now, done a lot of ultra events and things with it, and I've been over the moon with it. So yeah, it's certainly worth a consideration. So anyway, onto the side of the fence, and we'll head back onto the Pennine Way, and yeah, fingers crossed we get a few miles under our belt, and the sun stays out. Cheers. So we're just dropping down on what's called Clennel Street. That takes us all the way back to Alwinton when we started the walk. So I say all the way because we're just 12.5 miles in, so we've got another just over 7 miles. So it's quite a long way back down Clennel Street. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes and just think about a GPS watch compared to a GPS unit, benefits and negative side of that decision. So where I think a GPS watch really comes into its own is if you're doing a long distance trail, or you're an ultra athlete, or something where you want your hands or your hands can't be free. So you'll see today I'm walking with my Nordic poles. I do a lot of, or when I do ultra events and things, I always walk with 2 Nordic poles to keep me both upright, but also increase the speed that I'm walking at. And therefore a watch is fantastic for those experiences, because actually I can got it on my wrist, I can look at it, I get that vibration. And as many other events, I kind of know where I'm going. So I know this area fairly well. When I'm doing an ultra event, I've already reckoned it. So again, I'm quite good at remembering where I'd be. And the watch just kind of keeps an eye on me, giving me all my stats, telling me the speed I've been going at, how far it is to the end of that leg, etc. But if I take a wrong turn, it will vibrate and notify me of that. So that's where I think it really comes into its own. Where it doesn't, or where it's less good, is because we've got a smaller screen with a poorer quality map, i.e. not an Ordnance Survey map, it's less good at navigating on trails where you're not aware. So again, great thing about a GPS unit is if you come into a field that there's no path on the ground, you can look at the Ordnance Survey map on the screen and work your way through that field. You can do something similar on a watch, but you're not going to have the detail that you do get on an Ordnance Survey mapping. So if you're doing a long distance trail, if you're doing ultra events, if you're on walks that, like I am today, I kind of know it's a 20-mile walk. I've walked on every single path that I'm walking on today before, so I kind of know where I'm going to be going. A watch is really good, it's just going to make sure I don't make any wrong turns. It notifies me if that's the case. So that's where I think it really comes in. Again, if you're someone who does a lot of like Havens Wall Trails and Cuthbert's Way, these kind of thing, you'll see my other walk and talks I've done on with watches is often on long distance trails, because I think that's really where they come into their own, where it should be way marked and you shouldn't get lost, but just in case, you've got your watch there to keep you all right in that situation. So that's really where a watch sits compared to a handheld unit. Yeah, I suppose in the ideal world you have both. And don't forget as well, these watches they're smart watches as well. So they're not just to be worn when you're out walking. You'll wear them every day of the week. You'll wear them in the office, you'll wear them at home. Give you your smart notifications on there. It will measure your steps and give you all your health stats. And again, nice thing about doing activities like this, it tells you how long you're going to recover, gives you all the fitness stats there. I'll have show you around the Coros app a little bit later on. Really nice app, and I'll do a screen grab as I do that. But it's really most of the information visually looks far better on the app than it does on the watch, just really because the size of the screen. And really, your watch is collecting that data. And don't forget, I don't wear mine in bed, but it does measure your sleep and all this kind of information as well. So that's a little bit of insight of where I would be using a watch compared to a handheld unit. So we're just arriving back into Alwinton, but before we go, I'm going to quickly show you how you save the course, which is the record of your trip, and also how everything looks on the Coros app. So at the end of the day's walk, we just need to save that course, which is the record of our trip. Now, on any page except the map page, we just hold in this button. I'll show you why. On the map page, if you hold down the button, you actually get an option to to zoom in and out, so you can zoom in and out of the map. That's how you zoom in and out of that map. So that's why it doesn't work when you're on the map page. Just press the back button to come out of that. So again, if we just scroll through the pages, on any of the pages, we just hold down this, and you see, hold down for a few seconds, and we get the option to finish off. So we scroll down to finish, we press enter on that, we hold it down for 3, 2, 1, and it's saved it there. And that's the record of entry. So there's the walk, 20.31 miles, 7 3/4 hours. And we see the training load and all the health and fitness, but far better. These are, best mile was 3.67 miles an hour, average 2.62, and there's all the elevation from that walk. But as we'll see, it's far better to look at this information in the Coros app. Promised, we'll have a quick look at the Coros app. So it's literally a nice, simple app which gives you all the data. You can see top left is just syncing with my watch because I've just switch it on first thing in the morning. So now it's synced to all the data. So it kind of shows your daily activity, how many steps I've done today, how many calories you've burned, etc, etc. And then this kind of shows you your training load. So this is the following day. It's 8:05 the following morning. So you see excessive training session the last 7 days. I'm 22% recovered, 82 hours till full recovery. Now, if a restful day, I'm in the office today, that will be a lot quicker, and we'll recover a lot quicker from there. It was actually at 4% last night when I got back after the walk. If we look at activities down the bottom, we can see the walk at the top, so 20.31 miles. It's really nice and simple. It overlays it on the map, shows me my miles, it shows the data down here, so we can see it's 20.31 miles, activity time, average beats per minute, average speed, elevation data, etc. Best mile. It also shows the speed, so you can show where I stopped for my lunch halfway through. My heart rate, it shows my climbs. The elevation. So this is a true elevation. So this has been lifted from the watch, the barometric altimeter that's on the watch. Training effect. And then this is what I found really interesting, especially if you're doing any training, is my speed per mile. So you can see average speed per mile. So again, I'm stopping and starting a lot because I'm filming. But again, if this was a proper training walk or a training walk, I'd be there thinking I need to be averaging 3 miles an hour or something like that, and you can get that data from there. And then if you want to, you can what's the perceived exertion, add notes onto it, and it's all there. So it's really gives you a lot of data. And this is where I say a watch really comes in with this kind of information, because you can analyze this and you can then go back to various other activities as well. So you heard me talk about the Spine Challenger. There's my Spine Challenger walk, 107.19 miles, average 2.32 miles, etc, etc. Best speed 4.63. So again, you can see that something that is totally off the record there. Some quite fast speeds at the start and then potentially slowing down. So it stores all these, so it's quite nice. You can go back on them and jump on them and look at all your different activities that you've done. So that's a quick look around the app. Again, it's a way we can look at our activities today, so you can see your steps today, etc. so far. But it's also it's really nice to see these activities, which is the activity that I did the walk and talk on. It's not very often I can find a bench to sit on at the end of a walk and talk, but I'm going to make the most of it because I have at this time. So many thanks for joining myself, John from GPS Trail, the latest walk and talk. If you're a Coros watch user and you've got any thoughts or feedback about the products, please leave a comment in the comment box below and let's see if we can help each other out. If you can like and subscribe on YouTube, that is very much appreciated. And again, if you have any thoughts or feedback about the walk or talk or anything that we deliver at GPS Training, please do get in touch. And if we can help you in any way with a GPS watch or a GPS unit, please get in touch with ourselves. Again, many thanks for joining me. And whatever you're doing, get out there, enjoy yourself, and many thanks for watching.